been live. Cool. Cool. All right, perfect. All right, so we are here to talk about how to make a turkey.
Pizza, I will be back to catch the...
Do whatever you gotta do. Do whatever you gotta do, and you can leave the door open, or you can close it, whatever works. And we're gonna get rocking.
What would you like me to do?
I think probably close it just in case someone's trying to work out there and we're bugging them in some way. You know, that way we're good. All right, guys, so we're gonna be doing Ignite 8, which is find and show home. So this is Ignite session 8, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. And what I do, just for the record, as a disclaimer, I was here yesterday for a couple hours catching on some other stuff, but I probably spent about an hour looking at the material. My strategy is to go over the material like 4 or 5 times, any class, and then get ready to teach it. So we are ready to get rocking. All right, so if you're working during Thanksgiving week, you're going to be a rock star. Most of your competition, I'm thinking 90% of them are already taking the week off. Some folks after, they've got kids, and I know my kids are off, but a lot of folks are off because they had too much candy after Halloween. So if you guys are working, you're ahead of the game. So if you're having a bad day today on a Monday, or you have a bad Tuesday or Wednesday, or Thursday or Friday, even for that matter, remember, you worked harder than most of your competition. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's get rocking then. So I'm not quite sure if you guys did the missions or not, or, you know, and so forth. So I'm going to just go over the pages here. So let's get started. Okay, action, reveal, context, no cards. So, okay, so we're going to be today, Ignite 8. It's got learning techniques for qualifying homes that you find online, developing your showing skills, practicing scripts will help your buyers in getting them to pull the trigger. So today's about showing them homes and trying to get them rock and rolling. So action reveal. So contacts, no cards, Ignite home base. There's only one video that we're going to be watching here, and we'll get rocking. All right, let's see. Okay, Ignite. So if you're not already using this, folks, and maybe check it out, Ignite My Tracker, thedaily104.com. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Is anybody using this?
I am.
Okay, so if you go in there and plug in your information, is it like a website that you just go plug it in and you're good to go?
It's you just go to education and My Tracker, and it pulls it up, and then you enter your daily 10-4 on it.
Perfect.
You can enter milestones. You can pull reports from it to see where you need to be, like, working harder, what points you need to work more, what points you're doing good in, what points you could do a little less or more to compensate for others, things like that.
Fantastic. So if you're not using it, maybe check it out, folks, daily104.com. It allows you to go ahead and put your information in and kind of go from there. All right, let's get rocking. So that's that Daily 104. Okay, so on a daily basis, we're looking at about how many new contacts? 10. Speak with about how many people? 10. Write how many notes? 10. And preview how many homes in a week? I think it says, I'm glad it said weekly. Preview 10 homes. So I know we've got a new student in the room that may not be quite aware of this, but the goal is and I was on a big old webinar for big teams with our coach, and whether you're an agent, brand new, existing, or you're a small team or a big team, a lot of your business down the road will come from your database. These people like you, they trust you, they know you, they love you, and they worked with you, right? So please make sure that you understand that the whole purpose of this business is having something over time that you can really sell or really pays back to you in the form of commissions. But on a daily basis, you want to add new people to your database. You want to speak to folks in your database. You want to write notes and release preview 10 homes. Now, if you're a part of the association, whether it be here in Grass Valley, one of the ways to preview some homes is go to the board meeting. Because typically in Grass Valley, I'm thinking as well, that after you go to the board meeting, they usually go out there and do a tour. That's a great way to preview homes. That's one way. Another way is to actually work with buyers and sellers. You're going to preview homes. Or a third way is like, hey, it's Monday, it's 3 o'clock, I'm blocking up 2 hours of my schedule, I've already got my lead generation done, I'm checking out these 8 listings, I'm just going to go check them out. Maybe go check out a vacant one, so you just see the comments on the listing. It says, okay, 123 Main Street is vacant. Okay, that means you don't need to call the agent. In the agent comments, it's already got on there that there's a lockbox or there's a combo code, and it's quick in and out, right? So I would say once you know your inventory, you're in a better position to work with buyers as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I still want to, get people in contract, and if I've got buyers, I'm going to show them homes, but if I don't have any buyers I'm working with particularly, or there's a particular area that I want to farm, I want to know what's just going on out there, and for my sake. Is that fair, folks? So, so this is my latest, greatest tip, is when you're previewing homes, and you just want to get to your number of 10 for the week, supposedly, go check out some vacant homes. Make sure you guys are safety and all that precautions there, right? But make sure you just check out some vacant homes. You don't have to post notice and all that stuff. Just check out some homes so you know what's going on, right? It gives you a good gauge for pricing. You know what I mean? All right, cool. All right, so 10 new contacts to your database. Speak with about 10 folks in your database. Write 10 notes and preview 10 homes a week. I will tell you this, folks. I think less people, and I get less sales junk now than ever before, right? I get less sales junk now. So if you have a good conversation with a prospective seller, prospective buyer, an appointment that canceled, an appointment that happened, there is no harm in writing a nice thank you card. It takes about 30 seconds, should be a part of your lead generation every day. Try to know, right? If you have a conversation with somebody in Alabama, you have a conversation with somebody that may want to sell a home, write them a quick thank you note, and that is lead generation. Write a note, throw a couple of business cards in there, and I think that's a good way to get going. Cool? Because a lot of your competition isn't doing that. They don't want to write a note. They don't want to see their handwriting. They don't want to go get the paper. They don't want to put a stamp on there. They don't want to go to the mailbox, whatever. Do that, and trust me, it will pay off over the long haul. Cool? All right. Turn to page 8. Get your callers. Begin calls. Oh, boy. Here we go. Now we're getting to work. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about maybe 10 minutes max on this. If you're brand new, don't worry about it too much. But we got to about, let's say, 11:15. So call your list, call anybody that you've got. I'm going to give you guys till about 11:15, which is about 9 minutes, all right? So this is writing your list. So if you check out page 8, it kind of tells you what you want to be calling and letting folks know, right? And so this is where we would typically call some clients, because our training of Ignite, the new way, is actually do some things as far as lead generation in the class. So you're welcome to call anybody if you have to, or do whatever you got to do, and we should be good to go. All right. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so if you got anyone that you guys want to call, did you do your open house this weekend?
Yeah.
Was it wet?
Yes, it was. But
And how was the results?
It was okay. There's about 4 people that came.
Good.
So,
Perfect. All right,
one
cool.
person on Friday and 4 people on Saturday. So it was okay.
It's better than last week.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, I want to give you guys to about 11:15, and then we'll get rocking.
Good morning, Jack. This is Sarah. How are you doing today? Good. I just wanted to follow up with you today. I told you I'd be calling you maybe about once a week to see how things are going with Heidi, and find out if you guys have decided to get that house up for sale yet. Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay, no problem. And I also wanted to get back to you, because I know we talked last week in regards to the discrepancy of the size of the house compared to what the county records show. And I had a chance to talk to my broker, and what he said is that when when that got switched over to a 3-bedroom, he said that more than likely, the permits weren't recorded at the county office. And so that's why it's still showing up at the county records as a 2-bedroom. Oh. Right. But if they have it in the 3-bedroom, because I know you said that you had to do some sheetrocking and stuff in that other room when you guys had bought it. The utility room. That's strange. Well, it doesn't, yeah. It doesn't actually, when you go to sell a house, and from what my broker said, it doesn't really matter what the county recorder has listed for you, because when I go to sell the house, I'm going to be listing it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And we're going to be pricing it accordingly. So if you wanted to, you could definitely go down to county records and see what you would have to do to get it changed over if that's an issue for you. But it's not going to be an issue for me when we go to list the house. So yeah, when I go to sell the house, it's not going to hurt the selling of the house. So when I go to put it on the multiple listing service, and I'm going to put what it actually is. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. You know, I'm not sure on that, but like I said, my broker told me that it's not a big deal. He said more than likely when that if it did get converted or something must have happened with the blueprints or something like that, when that got recorded with the county recorder's office. So if they're right. Well, I can't make the changes. So basically, if you wanted to make the changes before we got the house up for sale, you would have to go down to the county recorder's office and find out what they would require you to do to get that updated. But see, I don't really do that part of the real estate. That would have to go through the county itself. But if you I know, we talked about the taxes thing last week, remember? Yeah. Well, and like I said, it's not going to harm anything as far as when we put the house up for sale, because I'm going to be pricing it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We're going to be selling it as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and normally when the title transfers between one person to the other, we do have to pull, the title company will be reviewing all of that to make sure that it's going to go through smoothly for you. If there's anything that the title company decides that we have to do, we can take care of it with very little hassle to you. But the title company really can work with you on that. And then, like I said, if you have to, more than likely, you'll have to go down to the county and make some changes to it. But I don't, when I talked to my broker, he didn't foresee there being any problem with it. Right, if it's going to ruin the sale or not. Like I said, I don't handle that part of the whole, ending process as far as the title is concerned, but that's definitely something that we'll have to, talk to the county about and see if that can be updated or changed. But like I said, when I go to market the house, I'm going to market it for you appropriately. Yeah. Hold on just a moment. I think I do.
So you guys staying in town for Thanksgiving?
Give me just
Out
one
of town?
second. I'm going to run back to my desk real quick and grab it.
Okay, so Sarah's on a call. We're going to continue on. So 11, right around 11:15. So this one, if you look at page 9, it's got scripts for calling personal and professional service industries, right? And this is different than calling like your buyers or sellers. So I would say that in our business, we get a lot of buyers and sellers because we kind of farm for them or we hunt them, we get them referred or whatever, right? But having said that, if you start like looking business to be like B2B, and you start getting like divorce attorneys or probate attorneys or CPAs or tax guys, not only will they send you a client, they'll send you multiple clients. So if you look at some of the scripts on there, you are a true business owner. Like, hey, I'm a business owner with Keller Williams. I'm looking to create a list of preferred business owners. It could be landscapers, dentists, anyone who owns a business. And we're looking to build a strong long-term relationship with you. And then basically, what you do from there is, I'd grab a coffee with them, and some people call it grabbing a coffee, and see if you can't let them know the value of working with them. And then also of you working with them, working with you, and you working with them. So even now, so I guess if you look at the top of page 9, the top of page 9 is people that you've done business with. Title companies, landscapers, contractors, pest control, blah, blah, blah. Right? Now on the bottom of page 9, that's a script for someone that you haven't done business with. So it could be like to a contractor. Hey, Mr. Contractor, I see you signs all around town. Looks like, you build a lot of homes. So if you need someone to list some of the homes that, if your buyers are buying a new home and... No, don't worry. Just take it out there. Don't worry. You thank God for making a call. Good job. Get the appointment.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Cool. So, so on the top is people that you've done business with in the field of real estate, right? The bottom is a script for people that you want to get in business with. So like I was saying, and that was Sarah in the background making a call. Great job. Talking a potential listing, which is great. So with a potential contractor, let's use an example. Hey, Mr. ABC contractor, I notice you build a lot of new homes for new folks in town. Hey, I bet you some of these folks have homes that they need to sell. So if I know somebody wants to build a new home, is it okay if I send them to you? In return, if you've got folks that you're building new homes for that need to sell their old homes, is it possible that you send those to me? Okay, is it possible that we grab a cup of coffee? Blah, blah, blah. So that would be a phone call. I'd send a thank you note, send an email, put them in my database, and try to meet them in person for about 10, 15 minutes. Question?
I know, I was just going to say, I did that with a pest control company. It's one of my friend's parents run the company or whatever, and I called them, did the script, whatever, and I've gotten a lead from them already. Because,
Perfect.
Just they're there, with the house and everything, and it's a lady that's like losing money on the house and stuff like that. So I already got a lead from that.
That's huge, phenomenal, and that's from calling from your friend's parents that own a company?
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
it was and that's one of the first things I did, because you're just starting out. Yeah. Okay. So one of the first things I did, when I was prospecting people, is I went to businesses first, because it's much more receptive, because you're helping them build their business, and then they automatically want to help you in return. So I started it that way, because it was a lot less terrifying.
It's reciprocal.
Yeah. Because, I didn't even say, I just phrased it as, I meet a lot of people in this business, I was wondering if I could refer them to you. And they're like, yeah, give me your business cards, and, I didn't even have to ask for that. They were automatically like, oh, I want to help you too.
So you just went, knocking on business.
Just, and, people, all sorts of stuff, because one of my other friends is, an equine dentist. And I'm like, but I run into people with horse property, so I refer them that way. And it's helpful. So, yeah.
And you've done a few flips, my dear, so you've probably got a list of contractors, vendors that you've used.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at them and you consistently follow up with them, you may get some potential business. Okay. I think the biggest thing that I can advise you guys is just be consistent, because obviously it does work, right? So 2 types of, if you look at page 9, I'm going to be repetitive for a minute, but that's just my style for a minute. But you've got people that you're working with, doing business with, the top of page 9. There's scripts for people that you're working with that already know you, like you, love you, trust you. Then bottom is the people that you want to start working with, right? And, and then the thing about these business owners, they can send you multiple lines. Pest control company, as Lindsay mentioned, they're in and out of homes all day long. They're in and out of businesses all day long. They meet people at the front desk all day long. They meet, folks are moving in their houses, moving out all day long, right? So, just keep that in mind for yourself. Great job getting on the phone.
That's my Monday call.
What's that?
That's my Monday call. I call Jack every Monday.
Well, good job making the call, right? Good job of making the call. All right, so that was page 8 and 9 and 11. Now let's go to page 11 and look at some of the stats from NAR. Okay, so here's the NAR stats. Now NAR, if you guys don't know what these are from 2014. NAR, National Association Realtor Stats. The typical home buyer searched for 10 weeks and viewed 10 homes. So if you've got a buyer, I'm on page 11, if you've got a buyer looking at 50 homes, we've got a problem, right? Either we do or they do. So, about 10 homes is where, if you've really done your research, you put everything that they qualify for, that may fit their requirement, I think showing them about 10 homes, you should be getting down to Turkey writing offers. Cool? 92% of buyers use the internet in their home search process. Most people start probably going to like buying a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home in Yuba City or Grass Valley, Nevada County, Nevada City, right? So that's what the search is going to come with. Down the road, once you start making a boatload of money, you could do SEO, get your website up, do a blog, do a lot of stuff like that. That's one way to get your ranking up, so you show up on the website. Another way, honestly, is to pay for ads on ZillowRealtor.com, which is only after you've done a few closings and you've got the money to do that. I would not advise new agents to do that at all in the beginning. Another way to do that on the internet, and where you talk about website SEO blogging, then you've got like the ZillowRealtor.com thing. I think those are the main things. Obviously, the other way is to give your mobile app to any potential buyer or seller. Because if they're going to go on the internet, they may as well go to your app, and then it's customized to you. So that's kind of the way I would be doing it, right? But most people do, honestly, and it's not a surprise. We can't be act like it's not out there, right? It's the elephant in the room. People start their search on the internet. 50% of buyers use a mobile website or application in their home search. This is your goal. And there's a lot of great agents that just do open houses at the 7th level. Like, they're deep. And their goal is, they know the likelihood that someone's going to come in, I want to write an offer today and get in contract here, and the home that they're doing the open house on is not going to happen. But they're looking at building their database. Like the 10 contacts, the 10 thank you cards, the 10 calls and all that. So with that being said, giving out your mobile app, which KW provides, to as many people as possible is what you want to do. So P, why do you say that? You're just trying to push KW? Not at all. Those leads come back to you. Right? So imagine this. It's Friday, 8 o'clock. Peter's sitting there. His wife and kids are out of town. He's by himself having dinner, a couple of beers, watching a Friday night football game, college football game. So he could go to Zillow. He could go to Realtor.com. He could go to Google. But if he happened to come with his wife a couple of weeks ago to one of your open houses, you may have had him download your app and maybe given him the script that look, this has the most recent listings. If you like the homes, I'd love to show them to you. So I may be looking at your app. The cool thing about me looking at your app is if I click on anything, guess who finds out? You do. You're the one that gets contacted, right? You've got me up the ZillowRealtor.com portals. So if you said to me, what strategy would you use, Peter? Knowing that 90% of people or 50% of people use a mobile website or application in their home search, I'll be pushing my app 24/7. Once I've closed a few deals and I've got money, then maybe I invest in my website and start blogging and stuff, which is more time than money anyway. And then down the road, if I really want to go to the next level on the internet, because people do start their search here, I may want to go ahead and go look at ZillowRealtor.com. That would be my ABCD strategy. I'm sure you guys have your own, and it probably is better than mine anyway. Okay, 98% of buyers who use an agent and view real estate agents as useful information sources. Boom. So that's looking at you as an informational resource. I would say make sure you give them information. Like Lindsay just mentioned, the reciprocal relationship. Right, look, hey, I'm here to get you in a home that you qualify for, that whether you're looking to live there forever and ever, buy it and then rent it out, whatever. I want to help you get to your goals. So what are they? Right? Because if you're an information resource, right, they're more likely to come back to you for more information. But at some point, and this is only in some cases, not all the way, if you've got a high-end personality and they want to buy, they want information, and then they'll pull the trigger. If you happen to come across a client, that's a little tougher, they want information, they want information, they want information, they want information, your gut says they're not going to buy, or they need to be pushed, don't be afraid of pushing them a little bit. Because some people, with all due respect, have bought homes, that's the best thing they've ever done, and they have to be a little bit more like okay, yeah, this is your best price range. You want a 2-story, but you're probably looking at this kind of home. So be an information resource. Just don't go for the close, but eventually you're going to need to do that. More than 50% of buyers reported finding the right home was the most difficult step in the home buying process. And we're going to go over some stuff on that today. But yeah, the right home, so it's going to meet everything I want. It's going to be double 2 stories. It's going to have a pool. Going to have a big front yard, big backyard. Going to have a full car garage. Going to have 10 rooms. I'm not going to get everything. So I think the word that comes into it when you're meeting a prospective buyer is like wish list. The must-haves. The top 3, the top 5, the top 7, the top 10. Wish list is the word I'd be using. Because if you ask me my wish list, that's going to be like everything I want. And that might be a little bit different than everything I'm going to get. Right? Because if you say to me, Pete, I really want to help you buy a home. Tell me everything you want. And then let me get to work. I'm sorry, that may, I may be looking for a Honda, but telling you I want a Ferrari. Right? So hey, on your must-haves, what are the most important things to you? Because it's just like going to the doctors. You have to kind of zero in on the patient, the client, about what you're going to do for them. Okay. 24% of recent home buyers reported the primary reason for the recent home purchase was desire to own a home. So people, pride of ownership, United States of America, we want to own a home because they want to own a home and not pay rent, right? It's a good thing to do. 9% of purchase a new home due to a job-related relocation or move. 8% bought for the desire to be in a better area or a change in family situation. A buyer up, buyer down. We went to a class with Gene Rivers, who sells, between him and his wife and his team, sell about 500 homes in Florida a year. And he's researched up the yin yang. I could do an 8-hour class, the class that he went over with us. But he goes, usually the average person goes through about 5 different stages. I forget what they are, but he goes something like this. They get their starter home, then they get a bigger starter home, then they have kids. Now these kids are going to, younger teenagers, then they get the fourth second custom home. And then when the kids are at college or they're married off, then they want their retirement home. So he said there's about 5 different stages most people out there in his neck of the woods go to. And he goes, he's not seeing every 5 to 7 years. He's seeing more about 10 years on average, right? So look at the stats on that. But, people do buy because they're tired of renting. People do buy because they want to upsize. And people do buy because they want to downsize. People do buy because of school districts. So there's a lot of reasons as to why people do buy. And some people buy because, you know what? They've got young kids. They've got a 2-story and they want to get a single story. Right? It could be a multitude of reasons why people want to buy. Okay, so let's go to page 13. 9% of buyers use the internet to find their home search. Keep focus on the best homes. Okay, make it happen. Work with buyers. Find the right homes. Show qualified homes. Bring your buyers to a decision. Or it's got it in the manual. So at some point you're going to have to tell me, let's pull the trigger, man. Let's go. Right? At some point you might have to kind of, bring that up. Find homes. 92% of buyers use the internet in finding their home search. Now, the other tip I'll give you, with the new Keller Williams Place to websites, they spent a lot of millions or billions of dollars on that. Hey, one of the ways to get your SEO up there is to start blogging, right? I'm not a website guy, but it's free. You're already paying for the website through KW. And if you like typing, you type quick and you know how to find good articles about particular areas, start blogging, because the reason I went to a Place to website is called WordPress. The more you type and the more authentic you are with material, the higher your rankings. So there are agents, when you go type in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Yuba City, where there are agents that show up in the rankings because their website's more relative, right? Because, so you got the mobile app, you got your KW website that you can point people to, but don't be afraid. Maybe spend half an hour a week. If you start getting traction, maybe spend an hour a day. But start blogging and stuff on your website if you think that's something you like to do, right? It wouldn't be what I'd want to do, but it may be right up one of your guys' alley, okay? Buyers will be searching on the internet. It's your job to help them identify which homes are actually worth the time seeing, right? And that's another thing. When you get a lot of buyers, because you guys are pretty new, right? I'm going to show you guys a couple of techniques that I'm just thinking of on the spot that you may want to use. Like when you're doing open houses or you're doing door knocking or you're talking to your friends or your family, just say, look, there's a lot of websites out there and some on Zillow.com. You all can check them. But when you are looking, hey, please give me a call or let me have you download my app or let me have you go to my website, because your website now with Playster has an IDX feed straight to the MLS. You want to start using that script, otherwise they may start continue going Zillow.com. And the thing about that is, if you're not paying for it, you're not going to get the lead. Because they'll go to they'll see 123 Main Street in Nevada City, right? They'll click on it. Based on that agent's listing, who's got that listing, if they're a premier agent, they're going to get that lead. If they're just a regular agent who just had the listing, they'll click on one of the 3 other agents, but it won't be you. So my point being is you have to have your VP value proposition for your client when you meet them, right? Because 90% of your competition or your buyers are going to start where? On the internet. If they're going to start on the internet or on mobile, then you'll be starting on your internet or your mobile. Is that fair? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, set them on an instant buyer notification through the association, right? Or through your website. Well, you got the KW app and Office tools, right? Ask them for that information so you can give them the information. Continue to periodically check in what your buyers think of the homes that they're looking at. See what meets their requirement. Contact them once a week and let them know. Say, look, I know you're not looking for 6 months, but I'm probably going to give you a call every other week just to check in with you. You want to be top on mind. Like, you don't want to be like, okay, Pete's not going to be buying for 6 months, especially when you're brand new. If you're a veteran agent and someone's going to buy in 6 months, you start calling them in 3 months. You halve the time. They're going to be looking at a year. You start calling them in 6 months. Halve the time. When you're brand new, you start calling them now, every other week. And you can be like, hey, I don't want you to feel I'm bugging you, but I'm going to be checking with you. Have a great Thanksgiving. Can't wait to get you in your home in April. Right? Be strategic about it, but be strategic. All right? Okay, keep buyers focused on the top 5 to 7 homes you've selected. Keep the focus on the best homes. Qualify homes found online. Check the MLS when it's available. See what your must-haves, the buyer's wish list is in the 5 must-haves, right? Like, what are their 5 must-haves? I think 5 is a good number. If they got like 25 must-haves, you might want to pass on that buyer, right? About 5 must-haves about what they're looking at. Single story, double story, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Pools a must-have, you know what I mean, right? Make a showing appointment, leverage your trip by checking to see if there's other comparable homes that you may want to see at that time. So here, if I'm looking at the middle of page 14 real quick, right, it's got on here, right? So I say to you, okay, you know what? Hey, Sarah, I like the house at 123 Main Street on Shanghai Bend Road, right? I want 123 Shanghai Bend Road. And he's saying, well, okay, you know what? He likes a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. This is double story. But there's 2 others out there that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And I know he wants a 4-bedroom, but he may be okay with a 3-bedroom and a den. So I'd show him that 4-bedroom because I'm already with you. So show me the other 2 homes and maybe even make the appointments. If they're vacant, get the combos, the lock codes or whatever. If they're occupied, talk to the agent saying, hey, if it's occupied, if you did want to show it, would that be possible? Because it's all about like showing me inventory, getting me in the store. I go to the store, right? I want to go buy a pair of sneakers. Now they got the latest tracksuits out there. I might like go to that even though I wasn't looking for it. So if I know I'm looking at a home, right, and I said, let's see that one, and there's 2-3 homes out there that I haven't looked at or clicked on but are similar, I'll try to get those out of the way as well. Because you never know. It's a numbers game. Out of every 10 people that you show the house they wanted to see, and then you show them homes that are very compatible that they didn't want to see, they may actually pull a trigger on a home that they weren't specifically looking at. Cool? Okay. So, check the MLS. Look at what the must 5 things are. Make a showing appointment. Your turn. Qualify the property. So, page 15. Okay, a list of matching properties. So, what do you want to look at? Choose a partner. And one will be the agent, the other one will be the buyer. Determine the type of home you like to buy. Can you model it? Blah, blah, blah. Log in the MLS. Price range, neighborhood, number of bedroom, bathrooms, special features, pool, formal dining room, finished basement. Determine the must-haves. Agent and buyers based on the must-haves criteria. So you guys pretty much, Sarah and Linda, you guys comfortable going on the MLS doing searches?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to have you guys piggyback in the groups, but what feedback do you have for each other? What quick roundtable can we spend for a couple of minutes on that page as far as qualifying properties? I know it's got 15 minutes, but we'll spend like 5 on it. Give me some things that you guys have figured out. Give me some things that you want to share with each other.
Special features, sometimes I would advise not putting those in there because everything that's in the MLS is based on what other agents do, and some of them don't do the best at updating it, so it won't even show up.
Okay, great. So what you're trying to say, is it fair that, hey, if you know what, most agents, Pete, don't even put the special features at home.
Yeah, special features, and then the other thing is that sometimes, if you put in cities and areas, they can come up different.
Okay,
Like, for example, like Linda and Olivehurst comes up a lot of the time as City of Marysville,
got it.
and then so if you're trying to look for those, those kind of can get annoying.
What else have you guys noticed? Is the MLS pretty easy to kind of maneuver around, save a setting? Do you guys know, like, okay, if your client's Peter and Kyle, they want to buy a home, is it easy for you guys to put me on a search thing?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not super comfortable with the buyer instant notification thing. I
Okay.
haven't quite figured that out.
No, I've used
Have
it.
you used it?
I have a buyer, well, she's actually selling her home in Natomas, and
Okay.
she's looking in 3 different areas depending on where her husband's job takes them.
Okay.
And so I got her set up on, I had to go to a different MLS because that's out of our area.
Yeah.
And so that was a little bit of a challenge for me. I didn't realize I needed to do that. But it's really cool because you can set up yourself as receiving the same emails
That the clients are getting,
that the clients
which is
are
what I
getting.
would do.
Yeah, and so you can see, okay, well, what houses am I sending to them? And do I need to revise my search? Are they getting too many emails? Are they getting not enough emails?
Very good.
So I use that to my advantage, and usually every single person that I get an email for goes to the MLS first. And no offense to the Keller Williams app, but I know that if I have an email address and they're receiving those property searches, then they're going to be like, okay, even if they don't want to buy, they're like, oh, well, this house is going for $289,000. I wonder what my house is worth.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And then they're calling me and they're saying, can you do a market analysis? Even if they don't want to buy or sell, maybe they will in the future. Who knows?
Got it. So what were you saying about the KW app that you don't like, or you do
No,
like?
it's fine because I use that too. But I'm just saying, usually I put my email customers in MLS first.
Yeah, for the search,
For
right?
the search. Yeah, because the search is really, it works.
That's what I think most folks do that.
Yeah.
That's what I recommend, right?
Yeah, one of the other agents from ERA, when I went to her open house on the board tour, she said that's what she does every single time. She said that let the MLS work for you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would definitely do that.
Yep.
The mobile app is a good thing, like if I'm,
I can't get people to download that. I'm
I'm
having,
having issues too.
yeah, it's hard for them to download the app.
I think because a lot of people have so many apps on their phone, they're
I
like,
think so,
well,
too.
I didn't want to delete any of mine, to add it.
oh, for memory wise?
Yeah,
because
and
you put X amount of apps you can't have or whatever, so I've just kind of been having problems with that too.
Yeah, and I just have, oh no, it's okay,
Yeah.
I'm good, because they're already using like Zillow, or they're already downloaded Zillow, or
Yeah.
all of the other
So look
apps
at-
they're currently using.
So I'm cool with that, no biggie, because I can tell you right now, I run out of storage on my own phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to remove podcasts, but let's get ready for technology. If you look at the new phones out there, I think your minimum data is like 64 gig,
Yeah.
and it goes like 300 gig. I'm never going to run out of memory. I'm not going to be using it for like, the phone's not going to be flying me from one part of the country to the other.
Right.
But I think the app is going to be more popular as we go further into the business. And I would rather, if I had the choice, think about your VP value proposition of having them look at the app with your info versus going to Zillow. Because Zillow's fine. Trust me, I use Zillow as well. I play around on it all day long. But the reality is, you're not going to get the lead. So I'll look at the script, I'll look at your value proposition, and maybe tying the search from the MLS with the app so you kill two birds with one stone. Right? Now, that's just my advice. I'm not pushing the KW tech on you, but otherwise, it's like, you know what, at least come up with like a script. Maybe give them a couple of, like, hey, I've got a mobile app. It's got the latest inventory. Zillow will sometimes have stuff on there that's already sold, but they're just trying to get your lead. Our mobile app is a little bit more accurate, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mobile app, I hadn't looked at it. Does it have, other than just Sutter Yuba MLS, because I work in Chico quite a bit too,
Yeah,
would it have like the Sierra MLS stuff in there?
I think it does. It'd have the other area, but I'm not sure you'd get that lead,
Okay.
right? Because you may go with the local agent over there if you give them the mobile app.
But on the app though, right? Because it's all your information.
It is, but I think, I don't know, that may be a Justin or a Jessica question. I think it covers, like if I've got Cal's app here in Yuba City,
Yeah.
but I go to the Bay Area, like in Walnut Creek, and pull up the app, it's gonna give me Walnut Creek listings, right?
So can I add to that, just to kind of.
Yeah, I would check that out.
So I was in Nevada,
Yeah.
and I was doing a CMA for my parents in Berkeley. on their house.
Yeah,
And my mom, I got her to download the app, even though she lives in Nevada, right? And this is across state, so I'm thinking this is going to work in different areas of California too. But all she had to do is she had to go and search me. And so she put my first name and my last name in there. And then she pulled me up. She found my BRE came up and everything. And then she clicked the button and said, make this person your agent.
oh, perfect.
And so even though I was out of the state or out of the area,
Beautiful.
you can still like walk them through finding you and then have them click make me your agent.
That's a great idea, I never knew about that.
And it pulls up all of their listings within like a certain mile radius from their home, not in our area.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
This is pulling up all the Chico stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Cool.
just make sure when you, like if you text them or something, you're out, just make sure you search for my name and click make me your agent or something like that, you know?
Good, good, good. All right. So that's MLS. So MLS. So my advice on the MLS, because that's what the page is about, go to the classes that they have for new agents, know how to play around the MLS. It's going to be one of the must-have, like now we talk about buyers and must-have 5 things. It's going to be one of your 5 things that make you successful.
Absolutely.
Right? Technology, like no one's going to be sitting there, and trust me, there's agents that do this today. Hey, Mr. Agent, how you doing? I saw this home on Zillow. Can you check it out for me? If that agent's doing that, I'm sorry, but they're not doing their job. I'm just sorry, right? You want to set every agent up, every client up on that app or on the search. You want to be ahead of it, and you want to be getting the same emails they're getting. Lindsay, yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say, some people are just gonna do that regardless. Yeah, they're just gonna look up stuff on Zillow and it's gonna be the complete opposite of what they were looking for, and you're just gonna be like, okay, I'll look that for you.
No, that's fine, and that there's no harm in that. But guess what? There's some clients that don't even like the mature ones, you know, baby boomers or whatever, maybe some of the older folks, that they don't even go to Zillow, Realtor.com.
Yeah.
So let me give you a worst case scenario. Hey, Lindsay, I want to sell my house. I'm 75 years old. No, say I want to buy a house. I want to downsize, right? So now I don't have your mobile app. I don't use Zillow, Realtor.com, and I don't have the and you haven't set me up on a search.
Yeah.
And I don't even have an email. How am I going to find out, you know, like, am I going to call you every week? Like, hey, Lindsay, you got me a little house?
I have some.
So make sure you guys are prepared. Look at your clients and put a custom model together.
Yeah, they
Cool.
don't have a cell phone, they don't have email, they don't have anything. So I just call them every couple of weeks just to check in with them and see how they're doing, see if they need anything else. Because
Give them an update. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Page 16, show homes. Look at the showing instructions on the MLS to schedule the showing times. The listing agent should have some instructions. Always call the listing agent to see if the home is available, if there have been any offers. You're trying to be smart and be proactive. Set the home tour date with your buyer with a specific start and end time. Try to give a 24-hour notice possible to have all parties involved. Check with the buyer to make sure they have the earnest money ready if necessary. Preview the homes and eliminate any that do not meet the criteria. And that's where, you know what, when you get a new buyer, you should be like showing them everything on the market that meets their requirement, that meets everything that they want at one time or 2 times. You should be like, you should not be out there with a buyer every week, I'm sorry. New buyer comes in, show them everything that meets their requirement, pull the trigger. Can't pull the trigger, okay, are there any, then you wait a week or 2, I'm thinking, then like, hey, I know you checked out these homes, I haven't seen anything new come up. Is any of those homes that you think we should look at again? And then it's just new inventory coming up, right? Don't be under the impression, right, that you can be like showing Mr. and Mrs. Smith homes every day, right? And if there's 8 homes that meet the requirement, try to bang those out quickly and efficiently from the get-go. Cool? Your top agents have a requirement, like 8, 10 homes max. We're running a friggin' offer. Cool? All right. Okay, prepare and educate yourself about homes, demographics. Be the information source. Determine what route to take. Always show them the best homes first. Arrange to meet with your buyer at your office or in front of the first home you will be touring. That's why a buyer consultation is important. It's an ugly world out there, or maybe the media is promoting it more than necessary. I don't know. But you don't want to be meeting somebody at home that's vacant, out there in the boondocks, by yourself, for a buyer that you haven't met. Is that fair, guys? Okay, safety number 1. Print out 2 detailed MLS information sheets for each property and that you plan on touring the buyer with. Place the MLS sheet in the order that you may go in. Make a copy of the must-haves and so forth. So there's a strategic way on how to show homes to your buyers. Help buyers view homes, right? preparing the buyers. If the dislikes are things that, like yards has a structure home, things that cannot be easily changed, ask them if it's a deal breaker. When it comes to things like wallpaper or lack of landscaping, discuss easy, low-cost solutions that might help see them past the issues. Like they may just say, like, I just don't like the yard, but it's the right size. So what would it cost to get that yard that is the right size to the way they want, right? Don't be under the impression that, okay, the buyer said they just don't like it, so let's move on right along. Go dig a little bit deeper because you are the professional, you are the attorney, you are the CPA, you are the chiropractor, you are the doctor, you are the real estate professional. Okay, home checklist, all right? I'm looking at page 18, home checklist, right? Have a checklist if you think you need. Tour the home, page 19, ring the doorbell, right? Hello, this is a real estate agent, if no one opens, right? You know, if it's a vacant home, somebody could be squatting there. Right? Hi, real estate, shout your name out. Record your comments on the top of your MLS sheet for each property. Make your notes as you're going along. Have a clipboard. Well, you should have a box in your car with everything you have, like, you know, lights and all that good stuff. Have your buyer give descriptive names to help them visualize their homes, like the Great View House, the Creek House, the Smelly Cat House, right? While touring the properties, avoid making comments. You're not living there. Have them make the decision when they can. Hey, what do you guys think? You know, if you look, and I think check out those shows that you've got on, you know, E or whatever those channels are. Like where, you know, so I've seen some people like go in, check out the home. I've had some agents follow the buyer in. I've had some agents have the buyer follow them in. See what works for your style. See what buyer you're dealing with, right? Everyone's different.
On my open houses, when they first come in, I just introduce myself and then say, go ahead, feel free to look around. And before you leave, just come back and let me know what you think about the house. And then
Perfect.
just let them look through it. And then when they come back to me, again, the same.
Yeah, hey, I want to get some feedback on the house. Take a walk around and let me know how you feel. What do you think? Right? Help buyers identify the perfect home by pointing out the benefits, right? Not the features, right? Features are attached to the property. Benefits are attached to the buyer. For example, if the home has new windows, point out the benefit, not just the fact that they are new. New windows means you'll have lower utility bills, so you have extra spending money on everything else every month. Have the buyers rank out the homes, right? If a particular home meets all that must-have 5 criteria, let them know that it meets these criteria. You are the professional, right? Do you see yourself living here? Right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, ask them, are they ready to make an offer? Touring etiquette. Leave the home as you find it. Like if they got an alarm, put the alarm back on. Lights, HVAC. Right? You know what I mean? Be sure to look for and observe all touring notes in the MLS and the private agent comments. Be mindful of pets when opening exterior doors or going to the backyard, right? You know, they may not know that little poodle may be like not cool with strangers, so, you know, cover your butts. I'm not a big fan of dogs, and so make sure you guys are on it. Secure the house correctly when you leave. Notify the listing agent if you notice anything wrong. Like, hey, you know what? I was at a property yesterday. Agent said that the alarm was on. When we got there, the alarm was not on. So then the agent know that, hey, it's vacant. I just turned the alarm on, but I want to let you know when we got here, the alarm was not on, right? Okay, your turn, benefits. So it's got page 21. Work with a partner, use a chart. List 3 common home features, list benefits. When called upon, stand up, read the benefit off. Okay, so what are some features and benefits? Let's shout them out real quick. Give me some features and then give me some benefits. Large yard, a place for the kids to play soccer, plenty of room for the dog to run, great place for entertaining friends. So that's the feature is a large yard, and then the benefits, soccer, the dog, and entertainment. So give me a couple other features and we'll go over the benefits.
Gourmet kitchen.
Gourmet kitchen. Okay, great. So that's a feature. What are the benefits? Thanksgiving.
New appliances.
New appliances.
I would associate it like entertaining.
Entertainment,
Yeah.
right? For those that someone wants a gourmet kitchen, they probably like to entertain,
They
right?
probably spend a lot of time in their kitchen and want their visitors and their friends and family to be in the kitchen with them.
Exactly. That's phenomenal. Give me a couple others.
Formal dining room.
Formal dining room. Okay, that's a feature. Benefits.
To have everybody that you want to, like all your friends and family at the same table, the same place, same time, instead of having to worry about where everybody's going to sit when you have a family dinner.
Perfect. Cool. Got it? So you guys get the feel? Right, go over this with the buyer. And I think this is all, comes after a buyer consultation. Right? You know what I mean? Okay, so 22. Let's see, 21. Okay, so that's a video. So let's go to 20. Recognize buyer distinguishes your tour home's body language, facial expression, smiling, brightening up. Asking about why is the seller selling? Motivation. Detailed questions. Hey, so I wonder what the property taxes are. Do you have Melrose here? Visualizing the furniture placement. My office desk would look great here. They already bring that furniture in. Comparing it to the other homes that we saw. Oh, I just love the yard compared to the last two homes you showed me, Peter. Discussing, oh, isn't that new paint? Well, I love this carpet compared to the wooden floors that we just came from. Sitting down, maybe if it's a person who's still got furniture there or they still live there, sitting down in the house, becoming protective, right? Oh, do you think other people are looking at the home? Oh, Peter, do you think they have any other offers? Become, asking for a second choice. Hey, can we bring our parents in or our grandparents in? Raising objections. You may be surprised by number 10. It's a common misconception that objections such as, oh, I don't like that granite means that the buyer's not interested. It may be like a strong sign that they're ready to move forward, man. Like they just don't like the granite and they think like, how much money do I have to spend to get this granite out of you when I buy the home? So just recognize, just read the client, read the person. If you're not very good at reading people, no big deal. You'll get better over time. But like have a gut, think about how they're going to rate the house. Think about what you think they like or they don't like, Objections. We love it, but we haven't seen enough properties yet. Second objection. We really want a formal dining room. We don't like the carpet paint landscape. So, right? So, like, I think the first one, and even some of these other ones, right? Like, there's only so many homes on the marketplace. If you've got a buyer who's qualified to buy, they're able and willing, okay, they want to buy, okay, if they find the right home, next 30 days, ready to pull the trigger, and they're tired of renting, what you've got on the inventory is what you've got. So if they say, I need to get a home, or I would like to buy, what's on the inventory is on the inventory. So when you deal with an objection, make sure you got your rebuttals ready. So my role as helping you buy a home is to show you what's on the marketplace. Right? And the best homes that are on the market go fast, usually 1, maybe 2, 3, 4 days. So if they say like, hey, this meets all your must-haves, Pete, right? I know you may want to see more homes, but if this meets everything you got, you may want to put an offer in. Because, you know what, somebody else may have already seen it.
Well, can't they put in multiple offers? Like if they do see a house that they like, they go ahead and put the offer in. Can't they put another offer in on a different
That's a Brother Don question. I think ethically, if you're putting an offer on my home, you got to wait till I respond before you start putting other offers in.
Oh, I see.
That's point number 1. Point number 2, if you put a offer on my home, you can't be putting 3 other offers. Say you're in contract with me and then getting yourself in contract with other people because you got 70 days to get out of my deal. So that may be a Don question, but I think you have to be really, cover your butt on that stuff.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if they could do that.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works. Like, I don't think you could turn multiple offers in on multiple property because you could, like, they may accept all of them.
Yeah, you could end up.
You can end up buying 5
you get a
houses,
lot.
right?
Well, you could be like getting 5 offers accepted, then you have to cancel whatever.
Right.
But I think that if you're writing it off on mine, technically the conservative way, I think the ethical way, the legal way of doing it, you have to wait till I respond. That's why I have timelines, 72 days. Or you could say, okay, I like your house, but I'm looking at other homes. You got 24 hours to tell me if we're going into contract.
Right.
I think that's the right way.
Okay.
So I don't think you could put homes on 4 homes.
You just put it in the contract or in the
Yeah,
offer you sent.
and that gets a seller to move quick.
Right.
Like I've only got 24 hours to say yay, day, or find the middle ground. Really want a formal dining room, right? Those are just objections. And then look at the objection, like, is it a big deal breaker or maker? They need RV parking. and the reason they're selling the house is because they don't have it. It may be a deal breaker.
Oh, yeah.
They need RV parking, right? So just cover your butt. Okay, they've got a 3-car garage, but this home, we everything that they want, but it's only a 2-car garage. May not be a deal breaker, right? So just cover you guys' butt on that kind of stuff. All right, page 24, right? Bring your buyers to a decision. We have to make people get to a decision. All right, the video's on the next page. So we get leads in the funnel. We get appointments, buyer consultations in this case. We sign agreements, buyer agreements. Now we want to write an offer so we can get in contract so we can get paid, right? But sometimes you have to be the doctor. Like I'm going to go back to an old analogy that I got in like 1997. When you go to doctors and you say, hey, doc, I've got the flu, I think. Doctor says, yeah, you know what? Check your blood pressure, check this, yeah. Take 2 blue tablets and a white tablet. Hey, doctor, can I take 3 pink ones and a yellow one? Here's your file. See you around. You are the professional. Be consultative, be educational, be informational, but let them know what's going on because your goal is to get that buyer in a home. Is that cool? Okay, decision-making process. Each time you show a property, ask your buyer to rank the property on a scale of 1 to 10. After the showing, ask them if they want to purchase that home. Pretty candid. After you've shown all the properties, ask them to rank all the homes with the top 2. Take the highest score, ask them, is this your favorite? Okay, do you think it's going to be everything that we looked at? Are you ready to make an offer? I can see you excited. Read their language. If they're like, well, I just don't know, maybe do a pros and cons or a plus or minus sheet. Right? And then try to make an offer. I think that's the biggest thing. As new folks, you're kind of like rookie capping agents. Don't be afraid to say, Pete, are we ready to make an offer? Right? Just look at the script. Because you know what? At some point, you're going to want to ask me that. Right? How many homes should you show me? If there's an abundance of inventory, how many homes should you show me before you say, okay, let's write a contract? I'd say 10. Do you guys know that some agents, even if they had the opportunity, it's one thing if they say, look, show me the home. I'm not going to meet for a buyer consult. That's one thing. But if you've do a buyer consult, and I should be checking about 10 homes and writing an offer. If I'm not, dig deeper why. And you can even say that in a buyer consultation. Top agents say that. Hey, Pete, great to meet you and your wife, Cal. Okay, we're going to be meeting for about half an hour. We're going to set up a time to check out the homes. Will that meet your requirement? And typically, when I've done a buyer consultation, we look at everything else in the inventory. Before we get in contract, I'm usually showing about 10 homes. Cool? Is that going to an attorney? So I was going to throw a stupid example. I'll throw one later on. Please.
How does the amount of inventory play into that? Like if there's not a whole lot of homes that are their size or their, bedroom, bathroom, I understand we're going into like the winter where there's supposed to be less inventory.
Yes.
How does that play into how many homes you should be showing to them?
Fantastic. You may be on them. There may be only 1 or 2 homes that meet that requirement. That could be 15, but maybe 3, 4, 5. So if there's only 2 or 3 homes that really meet that requirement based on low inventory, hypothetically, they may need to widen the net. Go like, okay, they may have to throw over to Sierra, but they really want to be in Grass Valley. Oh, okay, they really wanted a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, but they may have to do with a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Or they could sit there and wait on the sideline for that home to come up. But then how long are they waiting? How long are you waiting? And who's to say that home's not going to come up till like July of next year? So then they spent 30 grand paying rent. I think my gut tells me as a trainer with you folks, as a rookie team around rookie trainer, that then it's really a one-on-one heart-to-heart with your client. Look, I know you want a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. There's only 2, 3 homes that meet their requirement. And you say you don't like any of them. So we either have to broaden the net, look at your must-haves, or we can wait, but we may be waiting until this time next year. So you're spending $3 grand a month, and you want to get your kids into that school district, so maybe we have to go with a 4-bedroom, 2-bath just to get your kids ready to go for January. So that's why the buyer consultation is important, because that 4-bedroom, 3-bath may be important, but you know what? The reality is getting a 4-bedroom, 2-bath will work as long as my kids go in the right school district. So I think doing that buyer consultation and really getting to know who your buyer is, the more important. Is that fair? I hope that answered your question a little bit. So pros and cons, and then you gotta ask them like, hey, let's make an offer. So now it's a time, because you heard me rumble enough. Let's watch a video. Let me follow my little cheat sheet. Hit the play button.
Volume's on the remote on the TV.
Oops. Let me see if I can. The
The TV remote change, or ups the volume.
okay. Let me see if that'll work. Just trying to get the video going here. Give me a minute. Let's go back. Oh, wow. Let me see just, you know. Yeah. I don't know how to get it up.
That's okay. Stuck.
Try it. I hit play. Great
Yep.
job. See if that works.
Setting expectations.
Fantastic.
We tell buyers that it
Is that
is the seller's market, and what that means is the best homes go fast. The next area that we set expectations in is multiple offers. We tell our buyers there's going
Sorry,
to be.
that's how
it's gonna be.
buyers
Voice.
out there.
That's fine. At least you got voice. Thank you.
Situation. The third area that we set expectations on is condition. Many of the homes that they're going into are going to be move-in ready, but they need a little bit of work. The next step in the process we call the funnel. And essentially, we're trying to take the entire MLS and funnel it down so that at the end of the day, there can be only one house that kicks out the bottom. What I'd like you to do tonight, pick out the best 10 or 15 homes, and then tomorrow drive by those homes and check them out. I want you to pick out the best 3 or 4, and we'll go out and take a look at those homes. Next part is the actual showing process. We show the first house. You'll ask the buyer, on a scale of 1 to 7, leaving out the 4, 7 being perfect, and there is no perfect home, and 1 being unlivable, where would you rate this home? Inevitably, the buyer will answer it's a 5. The reason they give you a 5 is because they don't have anything else to compare it to on the very first home that they've gone to see. Then what you want to do is try and reinforce what's making it a 5 for you. Then the next question you asked said, what are some of the things that you would do to move it more towards a 7 if you were to purchase it? You go on to the next house. Now you ask an alternative of choice question. Pretend you had to buy one of these 2 houses today. Which one would it be? The last one we saw or this one? They liked the first one better. Perfect. Go to the third house. The third house, you do the same thing. You say, all right, Gary, pretend there's only 2 homes on the market and you have to buy one today. Which one is it? The first one we saw or this one? And they say, this one. And you repeat that process over and over until you get to the last house. At the end of the day, you say, well, it looks like 123 Main Street was your favorite house. So right there from the house, we call the listing agent, find out if the home is still available. Let's go back to the office and get this property written up before somebody else gets it. My biggest aha out of this came when I was out with one of my first-time buyer families, and we drove up to the first house, and my buyer said, I don't even want to go in that one. What he ended up telling me at the end of that trip was, Sean, what I want you to do is print me out a list of every home that matches my criteria. I'm going to drive by those homes, and I'll tell you which ones I want to see. Aha! Hey, thanks for watching KW Connect, and make it a great day.
Okay. PowerPoint, continue from current slide. Okay, cool. All right, so watch your video. So what do you guys get out of the video? Any nuggets? Reaffirm what we said?
Pre-qualified, or pre-whatever, pre-screen or something.
I would, right? I would definitely look, buyers, there's plenty, and there's a lot of source for buyer leads that are free. I would just say the biggest thing you don't want to do with buyers is waste a lot of time, because they could definitely be time draining, right? You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, 24. Mine is where there is no passion, there is no vision. Okay, so that's got page 24. So let's look at back. Okay, what I get out of that, if I'm one of you guys, be enthusiastic with your buyers, right? If they're first-time home buyers, right, just lead them the right way. Like you'll see young folks join Beale Air Force Base locally here, and they're looking to buy their home, but they'd be just as good as renting. But you know they're stationed here for 5 years. There's no way they're going to lose if they buy, right? So be enthusiastic and be realistic. And
They get VA loans.
yeah, they get VA loans and all that. But my point being is like show some enthusiasm about what you're doing, right? Just like I'm trying to show some enthusiasm with you guys when I'm teaching a little bit, nothing too crazy and fakeish. But I think if you're trying to get buyers a home, we have to be somewhat enthusiastic, right? And it's different if they're like an investor, and it's different if they're a flipper, and it's different if they've like bought a home every year for the last 30 years, right? Just look at who you're dealing with, right? Change your script accordingly. Okay. All right, now page 27. What? No offers? If your buyers do not want to make an offer on any properties you show, make sure you understand why. There you go. Time, value, money, right? Then be sure to schedule the next appointment before you say goodbye. Even if you have nothing lined up to show yet, never leave an appointment without then scheduling the next one. At least a phone appointment, right? You know what I mean? And then look if you've got the buyer broker signed with them. Before we part company, let's get our calendar together and let's set up our next appointment. And, you know, for the meeting in the office, maybe checking out some more inventory, yada, 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 right? Your job is not to try and sell your buyers a home that isn't right for them, but it is your job to help them recognize when a home fits their needs, wants, and values. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Okay. What if prices drop? Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're most concerned about the price of the home or the monthly payment on the mortgage, right? You know what I mean? Like the reality is, like if a home costs them 200 grand a day and they just won't go to 205, my best analogy is in 1950, if that home cost them 45, but now they never got it because it's 50 grand, that's where we're going to be in 25, 30 years. I use that one in my own head all the time, right? And then look at the payments and all that. We want to sleep on it. You're right, it's a huge decision. However, I want to give you fair notice with as little pressure as possible. If you're ready to write an offer on this home, other buyers may have already seen the home, or they may be writing offers like we're speaking right now. So if you still want to wait, let me call the listing agent, see if there's any offers, so that way you can be proactive for tomorrow, right? You know what I mean? So I would say if the price drops, think about the payment, right? They could buy that home today for 400 grand. We could write an offer for 400, right? That's what they want. But now, even if you're in multiple offers and you have to go to 410, 10 grand, is it going to make a whole boatload of difference in 20 years? Honestly, the reality is on payments wise, no. And I'm maybe one of a high driving kind of guy. I will never buy or not buy a home for 10 grand one or the other. I'm sorry. It's just not worth the headache, right? It could be 5 grand more one way, 5 grand less the other way, because that's the way my mindset works. Because in 1950, remember this old blue collar analogy, how many people could have bought the house for 35 grand, that maybe in 2050 years later worth 200 grand, or sorry, half a million, maybe a million, but they backed out because, they didn't want to go to 40 or 45,000, right? So make sure you got some analogies, right? What about the prices drop? If it's a house you're going to live in, and you're going to be living there for 5 to 10 years, even if the price drops for 5%, who cares? That's the best advice I got from my boss, in lending way back in the day when he bought his house in Danville. I go, you buying a house? He goes, buying a house. I go, what about prices drop, man, and you lose your job? Hey, we're committed now. We're buying. Got it? So make sure you guys kind of think about that. Regroup, rethink. If you have to show more than the average number of homes, your buyers may not have made an offer. It's time to go back to the drawing board. Bring them back to the office. And like if you've got a buyer that's been in negotiation and negotiating, I'm going a little bit more ahead of the curve. You're going back and forward on the seller, and some of the stuff they're picking on is like not really important, or it's not deal making stuff. Do your counter when you get them in the office in person. Because you could do a DocuSign counter, but I think sometimes you got to do it in person. P, you may lose this deal because you want the fridge in the garage. Now, for whatever reason, that's their grandma's fridge, and they want to take it. Do you really want to lose this deal because of the freaking fridge? Right? So keep that in mind. Sometimes that small stuff kind of kicks into play, right? Get to the bottom line with your buyers. What you're looking for doesn't exist. Oh, boy, that's tough. You can step into a higher price point. You can adjust your expectations. Or we can wait about 10 years. What do you want to do? So my point being is at some point, you got to be like the bad cop, maybe. Now, it's not going to happen on a regular basis. Everybody relax. But once in a while, I'm on bottom of page 29. If it does, don't worry about it because it's the nature of the game. At least you're not a divorce attorney. Practicing buyer objections. Okay. So what are the top objections you guys have got so far working with your buyers right now?
Well, I mean, I don't know if top objection, but like I had a person, he was more interested in being over there by Shanghai Bend because he could ride bikes, get up on the levee really quickly as opposed to this other place, which is on this side of 99. You can't just get out and ride your bike and get up on the levee. And so for kids, that wasn't, a great, it wasn't as suitable as the other place, but a big one is solar. It's not an objection, but that can kind of be a hiccup.
If they've got solar?
If the house has solar, that's been sometimes kind of tough to negotiate that or to get someone to take on the lease.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a detriment. It seems to me a little bit. A lot of people don't want to take on that lease because but it saves them money, so I don't know. What have you experienced with?
Well, solar, I think solar goes both ways. If you've never had solar, it's something that's an unknown. You have to research it, but you can figure it into the price of the home. The leases, especially if it's with a reputable company, easy to move over. They try to make it as easy as possible. If they're running in the same utility, they'll even transfer on the new home. But I think a lot of buyers that maybe like haven't bought, first-time buyers, or maybe they bought and sold property, but they haven't sold one with solar. It's something they're not comfortable with. So the more information you could get, show them the paperwork, get them together with the salesperson, showing them how it's going to work. And if they're still not comfortable with it, they got to move on or maybe negotiate a little bit harder, right? As far as, like if they want to be by the levee, so they can ride their bikes, maybe look at the conversion ratios and maybe do some door knocking. If the conversion ratios are 10%, you could conversion ratios. That means that in that little subdivision, at average of 10 homes are going to sell. So you got to get hold of those sellers for your buyer.
I was just going to say, currently what I've been experiencing is, since the rates are rising a little bit, people are, really nervous and they're like, should I buy now? Or, so that's a big objection that I've been.
So if that's a big objection, let me just give you the flat out honest answer.
Said, lock it down
Objection,
now.
it should be something that's like an impetus for them wanting to buy, because if rates are going up, then they should
They-
want to buy
they- I
now
had-
while they're low, because they'll never be this low
Well, I
again,
had
don't
some
think.
people, and they're like, we wanna buy now, like, one of the couples, they went from looking at like a 60-acre place to a place that's like, literally had like no grass even, and like tiny little yard, because they just wanna lock something down now. But then I have other people that are like, well, they're gonna rise, like, I don't know, if I should buy, and blah, blah.
So can we go over a
Why
couple?
you want to pay more in the future?
I know, that's what I was like, what? And I was like, and they're like, I think that maybe I should wait, and I was like, well, they're just continuing to rise, and like, granted, eventually the market values will go down a little bit, but, that's gonna be something that-
So everyone's got their own strategy, so you guys can figure out between the weeds what works for your style, your personality. I'd say rates are going up, and they're not coming back down.
Yeah.
Right? They're at 40, 50 year lows right now. Rates in a 3.5%, 4%, 4.5%, 5% range. In the 80s, 90s, they've got up to like 8, 9, 10%. Say rates are not going to come down. Yeah, values may go down, but why not lock in a payment that you're comfortable with, that you can afford, and close the deal now?
Yeah.
Rates are going to go up. They've been at historic lows, and they're going to go up.
Yeah.
The stronger the economy is doing, the higher rates are going to go. Right now, America's a world power. It's very dominant. It's going to continue to be dominant. So there's only one way for rates to go, and that is up. Cool? So if they say to you, my dear, like, well, I think rates may go down, say, what makes you think that?
Yeah, because I'm meeting with them at
No,
Wednesday.
I think they were saying they were thinking prices were going to go down.
Yeah, but then you're back to that square one, where prices may go down by a little bit, but guess what? Rates are going to go up.
So it's all.
Right? And then what's going to eventually happen? Rates are going to go up, prices are going to level up, and then they'll probably come with some new exotic loan terms, where then the prices will go up as well. So if you're looking to buy, and you can afford to buy now, if the right home meets your goals, short term, it could be a rental down the road. If the house, you know what you want, but you picture of it like getting yourself in the market at least and not wasting money on rent, pull the trigger. It could be a future renter for you. You know what I mean? You just don't know, but at least pull the trigger, right? Okay, customer experience focus, right? Keep your buyers focused on the objective. Find the home that most closely matches their needs and wants, and then make an offer on it quickly so that it can become theirs. Be proactive when it comes to communicating as you both try to find the home on the internet. Establish how they like to keep in touch. Is it email, phone calls, yada, yada, yada. Items to take when you're showing homes. Flashlight, first aid kit, map, tape measure, level, digital camera, paper goods, tissues, toilet paper, office supplies, pens, pencils, paper, tape, stapler, umbrellas, beverages, snacks, entertainment for kids, right? Your paperwork, your clipboard, with whatever you need. So just be thinking like have your little realtor toolbox, right? You need it. You know what I mean? Like we have briefcases, have your toolbox. Your turn, show homes. So let's see what page 32, 33, okay. So agent marking, okay, so do you guys have some of this stuff on page 31 together? Or is it like you just kind of like shooting right now?
I have, open house kits.
Perfect. I'll keep that in the back of my vehicle.
I do.
It's the tools of the trade.
Yep.
Like Gary Keller calls it your bunker stuff. I've got my little backpack. When I go to a Keller Williams meeting, I make sure I got some chocolate bars, got some tea, I got some gum. Because I know, so we're going to be junk food from AM to PM. So as a realtor, you know what? You should have your open house toolbox if you're doing open houses. And you all should be doing some, having some fun with them.
Yeah.
You should have your little toolbox if you're showing property. Cool?
And chair is a good thing to bring.
Yeah, like a fold-up chair in the back of the car.
Yep, always.
If someone tries to rob you, get a metal one from like Sam's Club for the $10. They can slap somebody on the head with it. Right, the folding one.
Protection.
Right, but they may have a 3-year-old child and they may be ready to write the offer right there and then, but they've got nowhere to sit. So a chair, a couple of chairs, have your own stuff set up. Just like I say, your desk is your space. You should have a desk set up right in the office where you feel comfortable. You want to have your car set up accordingly. And most agents today don't usually drive buyers around in their car. They usually follow each other or whatever. But make sure your car looks apart for a realtor. Now, I'm a neat freak anyway, but my car doesn't probably always smell the best. But besides, that's pretty clean. But make sure you think about those things as an agent, right? Okay, buyers, raise common objections as you tour the home. Objections like, we want a bigger yard. We want to see more property. I hate the carpeting. We don't like the red carpet. We want to sleep on it. Right? Oh, it smells like, chimney, a smoke thing or whatever. right? So think about the top objection, get your rebuttals dialed in, right? What I would do, guys, and I found this to work really well, is if you're not role-playing with somebody in the mornings for a few minutes, role-play you with yourself on the way in. Like, hey, Peter, I want a 3-car garage. Mr. Smith, I can appreciate that you want a 3-car garage, but we looked at all the ones with 3-car garages, and they're about 20% higher than your price range. Now, the advantage of getting a 2-car garage on this one, there is RV parking with a fence, so at least you can park your car behind the fence, and you can spend $1,000 and get a tough shed carport. Think about the objections, role play in your head. Is that when your child says they want a Christmas gift, but they don't like doing homework? I would love to get you a Christmas gift, and I'll even spend the extra $20 to get you the gift that you want, but I know you're getting an F. That's not because your name is Frank. So I suggest, Sonny, that you start getting A's, and then I'll get you a Christmas gift. Think about the objections. Role playing goes a long way, right? And then the old school, I'm sorry to say this, but like if you've got 2 people and one's more quiet than the other, really focus on the one that's quiet. They may be just more of an introvert. Like those are quiet people, right? Introverts. But they may not be the extrovert. The extrovert. I love the kitchen. I just love the kitchen. Oh, I love the room. Oh, isn't this cool? And the introverts walking around. They're the ones that are going to be making the decision. The extrovert loves everything about the house. Cool? Putting it all together. Action plan, prepare for your next class. Cool, and remember. So we have missions on every Thursday. Get ready for your class on mission number 9. I'm thinking the next class is what, a week from today, is it? Okay. So what do you guys notice? Because I know at least 3 of you guys have probably shown some property, done some stuff. What do you guys notice already about showing buyers homes? What did you think before you showed your first home? What did you realize about yourself? Give me some ahas as we wrap up this A+ class, because the class instructor happens to be A+. I'm sorry. Okay. No, sorry. What did you guys gather, like, about, what do you guys know out of this class? Or what have you seen when you're showing buyers homes, pluses and all that stuff? Give me some stuff.
When I showed my buyers the first home, there was a lot of, like, I thought it was, well, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like this, and but really it wasn't, because after I talked to them about the house, they actually really liked it, even though they were saying, well, this isn't great, this isn't great, this isn't great. Well, then I found out my buyer knows how to build a house from the ground up. And really what he was saying is, I would change this, I would change that, I would change this.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
And so by me just being quiet and letting them make their observation and not acting like it was an objection, I kind of just walked around with them and I was just listening, and I was letting him show me, well, this isn't right, and I'm like, oh, what is that? And just kind of acting like which I didn't know what it was, but still, even if
more
I did,
consultative.
I would still, oh, what does that mean? And have them explain to me, and then come to find out they really like the house. They want to extend the master bathroom, you know what I mean? And honestly, I thought, oh man, they hate the house, but it wasn't.
So let's talk about what you just said. It's in the book when someone says, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. They may be the ones already putting an offer in. And now thank you for sharing that, because that's a great example of the contractor. See, what you guys got to understand, they're not buying like a burger at Jack in the Box. They're not even buying a $500 phone. They're buying a house. You're not going to just get them in that house if they don't want to buy it. You're not going to close them on like, okay, Pete, I know you wanted a Ford Focus, but we got like a Ford Unfocus, so take the Unfocus, right? You know what I mean? Tells you what I know about cars,
Yeah,
right? So it's like, look, it's like, because they're going to go home. Or maybe they're going to go to your office. They're going to think about it. You're going to negotiate. And then I would just line them up like, Pete, look, I really want to get you in the home, but tell me what you really think about this home. And if you're going to buy a consultation, or you've talked about the market or what inventory is about, and if they want to buy, they're going to pull the trigger themselves, right? Because it's a 30, they got like 17 days to think about like stuff, even when the offer's accepted.
17 days to think about the next 30 years.
Yeah, or the rental. So be patient with them. Like, give them the opportunity to walk around the home and see what's going on. That's a great one. Give me a couple of nuggets. Miss Lindsay, give me a couple of things.
I
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Okay, so you worked with a couple of buyers,
I
right?
got distracted.
Have you shown any buyers property? You have. You got a couple of deals in
Yeah, I
contract.
showed.
So give the team some stuff that you figured out, like in your own learning curve, sharing wise.
Make sure you study the MLS sheet before you go.
Perfect.
Because on my first one, I didn't really look at that, like the water source and stuff like that. So you're just kind of like having to fumble through. And then I was like, oh God, they're gonna think I'm just dumber than rocks. But so definitely study that.
Cool. My dear, as an investor, right, I know you work with Cammy, who's phenomenal, just in case she's listening. Cammy's a rock star, we know that. We had a great time at LC. Remember Cammy? Annie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is Cammy's friend.
She's good.
Okay, so as an investor, what have you noticed? Have you only worked with Cammy, or have you worked with any other agents when you checked that property? Way back in the day.
On my first house, I worked with a different agent.
Okay, so tell me, as an investor, I think you've done a couple of flips, maybe more or less. We don't want to get too nosy. But what have you noticed about working with different agents or different property or different markets? Is there anything that you'd share as maybe a brand new agent, but as a buyer who's bought some property?
I guess I certainly value an agent who will take the time with you.
Yes.
And as an investor, Cammy had to be very patient. I mean, we did see way more than 10 houses. But yeah, I mean, listening to your buyer and really like focusing in was very crucial.
Got it. So you guys initially were buying the flip it or whatever?
Yeah.
And she knew that, you guys knew that?
Yes.
And then you guys had to check everything on the market to do that?
Yeah.
And that's a different kind of sell to someone that's going to be living there for 10 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. Annie, I know you worked with some buyers and stuff. What have you noticed? What advice do you want to share? What do you want to share? Sharing is caring. So what have you figured about yourself or the buyers you've worked with over the last few transactions that, you kind of find out about buyers, or do you have a strategy, anything?
Let's see. If you can, get that buyer broker agreement signed.
That's huge.
I had one buyer and he might have went and worked with another realtor because he got upset because he put a deposit down on the property, and then he decided he wanted to back out, and he wasn't sure if he was going to get his earnest money deposit back, although he legally had the right to do it, but the other agent was being a stinker about it. So I went from being, God's gift, agent to agent from hell. And I just thought, you know what, in my head, I was like, I've worked too hard. I'm not, I just kept my cool, and we ended up finding another house for him, and then I still wasn't sure how he felt about me, but I still wrote him little letters, and hey, it was really good to see you, and then the other day I told him he had the biggest smile on his face, and so it's just stay with them, stay, kind of stay steady with them, and even if something falls out, there might be another deal, with them, so you just gotta kind of keep your cool and just keep loving on them.
And be consistent as possible. So even though you had a buyer that was in contract, the seller was going to get the deposit back. Is that what happened? And then on your end, you stayed.
The other agent, actually.
The other agent put that foot down, but you stayed with them. The buyer thought you were trying to do something which you weren't. And so long story short, send them an email, say like, hey, we'll get through this. We'll find out a solution.
Yeah.
To stay with, I think, keeping community. What I've seen in business, in any business, is communication's key. If it's a 911 issue and you don't know how to respond right now, take a minute, think about it. If it's not an emergency, maybe take till tomorrow, but do pick up the phone, do send a text, do send a letter, do send a thank you card, do send an email. The worst thing to do is just try to hide behind the rocks, because that never ever works in any business. It doesn't work with family, doesn't work with kids, doesn't work with parents, and it definitely doesn't work with your clients. But stay plugged in. Everything else just is practice. I think, maybe see if you can shadow a couple of other agents, and while they're doing some tours, and let the buyer know, like, hey, I'm just shadowing this great agent because they're a rock star and you're probably going to be buying from them, but I'm just shadowing out, what you feel about the house. The more practice you get, the better you're going to get what you do. Practice makes perfect. Cool? Okay, so Ignite 8 is done. Ignite 9, correct me if I'm wrong, is next Monday, right? At 11 a.m.? And on the training calendar, who's teaching that? That is gonna be Colleen Narinsky, fantastic, another broker on our team. She's teaching make and receive offers. That's a great class because sometimes it's about relationships. Do you guys know, I'll just give you a quick nugget just to kind of wrap up on. Sometimes agents will send other agents offers without even talking to them. Send and receive offers. How can you know, like, it's not like we've got 50,000 million REOs now. Pick up the phone, hey, Mr. Agent, we toured the property. Tell me about what offers you've got. We're thinking about turning an offer in, blah, blah, blah. Hey, if we turn an offer in, how quickly we get back to us? You're doing some research for your buyer, representing your buyer. Okay, we're going to be turning the offer in. I'm going to email it. Let me make sure you got the right email. Hey, did you get the offer? Can you text me or respond to my email that you've got it? When are you going to be representing the buyer, the offers to the seller? Are you doing them all at one time? Or are you doing them as they come or whatever? Like, do that stuff, right? You know what I mean? All right, class is over. Any questions, team? No, we're good? All right, cool. We'll still meet this afternoon. If you're available, please show up for the mastermind. If you're not, no problem. It's Thanksgiving week. And, rock and roll. Go big. Lead generate. What's going on?
I won't be here for that. I forgot to text you back, sorry.
Okay, cool. I want to see your numbers double.
I have a date my mom a birthday.
Okay, cool. Mom's birthday. Go do it, man.
That's
Okay,
the
so I won't
first
see you.
priority,
So have a
family.
great Thanksgiving and tell your mom happy birthday
I
from the
will.
KW
Pizza,
team.
pizza, can we meet a little bit earlier if we can? That's
It's
fine, but-
3 to 4. If you can't be here, no big deal. Yeah. Everyone's got a schedule. If it's not on my schedule, it don't exist. All right. So let's
Hi
move.
there, how are you? So you're a new agent?
Yes.
Oh, okay, are you licensed?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, nice to meet you, Annie, yeah.
Yep.
And then,
You're from
so
Grass Valley.
you are from Grass
Yeah.
Valley? Oh, yeah, nice, yeah, I met Cammy, we did an agent leadership council.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
On
clinic,
Thursday.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
conference.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was excited.
Yeah. So that
She's
was
a rock
fun,
star,
yeah.
man.
She's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
All right, cool. So if you need anything from us, my office is right here. We're here. And you just take your time. If you hopefully you got some value.
Oh, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? We're here to help you guys out as much as possible. If you spend a little more time here today, whatever you need to do. You meet with Jessica, aren't you?
Just that and the football.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna shut
So
up.
Amy.
and get out of here. All right.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
All right, Miss Jessica, class is over. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Alrighty. That went by fast.
Oh, okay.